Hello captains, and welcome to a little special update video. Little video is just going to be an update to show you what I have done in terms of upgrading my character now that he is level 20, a sub-commander in the game Star Trek Online on the Romulan character in the Romulan Faction. Have been doing this playthrough. In the last mission, if you checked that out, we hit level 20. We hit sub-commander at the end after doing those missions, infiltrating the Tal Shiar, a very cool storyline. But now we are level 20, we are a sub-commander. And when you look at that in the overall arc of things, we get a new ship, a new trait slot, permission to buy next rank of ships. And also, and I wish they would add this here in the text because they never have, you get to upgrade to the Mark 6 level of gear. So between 10 and 20 or 10 and 19 is Mark 4 level gear, and then when you hit 20, between 20 and 29 or 30, it is Mark 6 level gear. And so I have upgraded, I have done a full suite of upgrades on our character, both ship and ground, and bridge officers and powers and traits. And so this video is specifically going to show you the changes and updates I've made since the last video on all of that. The next video will actually go play the next mission. But this is just a quick little video here to show you what I've upgraded. I thought it would be better just to make these as separate videos instead of adding them in the mission videos, because it ends up taking at least 10 or 15 minutes of your time, and I don't want to have that at the beginning of each of those mission videos when I do something like this. So at the start of every new level like this, the next one will be 30, and then 40, 50, and 60. I'll have a video just showing you the updates. First, let's go to the Starships, because I want to emphasize something on Starships. And I know a lot of people have been talking about this in the comments, because believe me, I've been reading your post about this. If we go to the shuttle bay real quick, I want to make a point here. And the point is twofold. Number one, when we go to ship and shuttle requisitions, the Romulan ships that you get in this game are very limited by what they have available. And I have shown this in the past, but let's say at lieutenant level, for example, when you start the game, you only have one ship available to you, the Tavaro Light Warbird, right? That's the only Romulan ship. In fact, that is the Z-Store version. You get the free ship when you start leveling up in the game and play it first. You get the Talis is what you get. But it's just one style of Romulan ship at Lieutenant. Then when you get to Centurion, which we've been at for a while now, you saw all we have is the Delon or the Dale Warbird. The Delon is the free one you get with your token, and then the Dale is a Z-Store version of that. It's the same ship, just buffed up, right? So really, it's one ship variant. So far at Lieutenant, one ship variant. So far at Centurion, one ship variant. Then when you go to Sub-Commander, which we are now, the case stands. You have either the Moguy, which you get with a ship token, or the Valdor, which is the Z-Store version of the Moguy. It's a buffed up Moguy, but still one ship type. There are no specific escorts, there are no specific cruisers, and there are no specific science vessels at any of these levels. Here we are at level 20, and it's only been one type of available Romulan warship or Warbird. That to me is limiting, because it's not like that on the Federation side or even the Klingon side. On the Federation faction, you get a specific cruiser, a specific science, or a specific escort at this level. You can decide which one you want, and it's a specific different style of ship that has a complete different gameplay style to them, period. But that's not offered on the Romulan side. So that to me is limiting. If you are playing the Romulan faction, I would expect and want there to be more Romulan ships of different play styles at the lower levels, just like there are on KDF and Federation, and there's not. What happens, and what Cryptic has decided to do instead, is allow you to use whatever faction you align with to use their ships. So because I'm aligned with the KDF, when I look at all the ships available to me now, I have KDF ships. I've got the Norg Bird of Prey, the Korg Raptor, the Katinga Battlecruiser, and then the Z-Store versions, the Ningtao Bird of Prey, the Sukob Raptor, the Phalanx Science Vessel, the Dacoit Flight Deck Cruiser, Kortinga Battlecruiser, and Vandal Destroyer. A ton of KDF options. But see, what this shows you is that the KDF does have a ton of options at this level, and the Romulans don't. They don't have their own ships. Sure, you can fly the Klingon ships, but heck, if I were gonna just fly Klingon ships, why not just go do the KDF faction itself? Why even bother with the Romulan faction if all I want to fly are KDF ships? I could go do that by being a KDF character, right? Same thing with Federation. If I aligned with the Federation, you would see the Federation equivalents here. Sure, I could fly those Federation ships as a Romulan, but again, I'm on the Romulan faction. The point is, I want to fly a Romulan ship. If I wanted to just fly Federation ships, then I could go be the Federation faction, for crying out loud. Why even be the Romulan faction if you're just going to go fly the Fed ships and the KDF ships? The whole point of being the Romulan faction, playing on the Romulan faction, is to play as a Romulan and have Romulan ships, to be in a Romulan ship, to fly Romulan ships, to be unique from everybody else, to not be flying the KDF ships, to not be flying the Federation ships, because you want to be unique and distinct and different, and you want the Romulans to have their own ships. Okay, yes, technically I have my own ship. I got the Moguy at this level now, but that's it. That's like, that's all I got. And that to me is limiting, and I don't like it, and I wish, and that is why a lot of people, that's part of why a lot of people call this a mini faction, because they haven't really fleshed out the Romulans to have as much or as many bigger things that the Fed and KDFs have. The Fed and KDF have much more available to them. Romulan, limited. You're limited, and basically if you want different options, you have to fly the KDF and Federation faction stuff. So what's the whole point anyway of being Romulan at that point? So anyway, very limited. I know I'm going off on a rant about that, but it is a big problem I have with this game, and I think a lot of people could understand that. Okay, now that all aside, all we have available to us at Sub-Commander is a Moguy, even though I want to fly as an escort type of ship in my playstyle that I've got. My character is a tactical character here. I would love to have an escorty Romulan ship at this level, but no, I am going to be stuck with a slow-moving and slow-turning starship, because that's all that's available to me on a Romulan starship side. But at least I can have the Z-Store version of it, which is just a tad better than the free version, which gives a couple of buffs which could be enjoyable. And that's going to be about it. But let's look at the differences between these. The free ship that you get has 1 engineering console, 2 tactical, 2 science. The Z-Store version upgrades that to 3 tactical, so you will be doing more damage with your energy weapons. Also, you have 1 ensign tactical, or 1 lieutenant commander tactical, 1 lieutenant engineering station, 1 lieutenant science station, and then 1 ensign science station. And then when you go to the Z-Store, it adds a universal. You get a lieutenant universal station. And of course, the Z-Store has a unique console, which does a unique thing. The other stats on here are exactly the same. 3 forward weapons, 2 aft, 22,000 base hull, 1 shield modifier, turn rate is 14, device slots 3. All those stats are the same between them. We'll just read a little bit about it. The Moguy Heavy Warbird was a powerful ship utilized by the Romulan Star Empire toward the end of the 24th century. The Moguy has an average turn rate and impulse speed, but carries more weapons than the Delon and has significantly increased hull strength. So you can see 22,000 is the hull strength. The Moguy Heavy Warbird is equipped with a Romulan battle cloaking device. This cloaking device can be used in combat, but your weapon systems and shields are disabled while it's active. You get +10 to weapon subsystems, +5 to engine. can load cannons, but again, it's, in my opinion, it's too slow turning to use cannons. Got the Singularity Warp Core, got a Romulan Battle Cloaking Device, 40 base power for all subsystems, Plasma Shockwave, Quantum Absorption, and Warp Shadows are your Singularity abilities. This one adds the console. It's called the Absorbent Frequency Generator. This console modulates the EM frequency of all your energy weapons, sometimes causing your target's shields to bleed back via the beam to your ship. When this effect occurs, the console regenerates your shields proportionate to the damage you dealt to your target with that blast. So this is a passive power. I don't have to activate it. Basically, as my damage goes down, I can bleed shield from them onto me and heal my shields as I'm doing damage to them. And all of that happens automatically. I don't have to do anything to make that happen. And those are the basic differences. They still have the same Singularity abilities. So this is what I'll be flying during my Sub-Commander reign, is the Valdor. And I think I might go ahead and put a different ship skin on here. Customized Starship. This is the default skin, Valdor. This is the default skin. I think I'm going to go ahead and put my veteran skin because I really like the looks of that. That looks pretty sick. I'm not going to mess around with changing the styles and stuff right now. I might look at that later. Remember, about midway through my Sub-Commander rank, I will do a whole video just on this ship, and we'll take it into combat and look at its powers and everything. This video is not that, so we'll do that later. But for right now, I'm going to just set that skin because I think it looks good. And now let's go back up to the top here, and I'll show you all of my gear changes that I've made, all of my powers that I'll be using for my Sub-Commander level here. Let's go back to the lobby. And I have all Mark 6 gear. All Mark 6 gear. So, I want to thank Deadman, or at Deadman_Deadman. You have given me a ton of Mark 6 gear, and I will be using all of that gear from him or her. If we go to my mailbox, here is the contact here, Deadman at _Deadman, and as you can see, even more stuff has come in that I need to go through. Holy crap, thank you so much. But this person, and also there have been other people that have been giving me gear as well, Mark 6 gear possibly, and I might not have written your name down, so I apologize if I haven't, but look through here real quick. If you see your name, then there you are, and thank you for the gear. I've taken it and I'm using it. So those are all the emails I have. If you see your name there, thank you for the gear. I have it and I am using it, whoever all of you are. So I have been getting a lot of emails, and it is hard to keep track of who is giving me what. So if I left your name out there, I apologize. But thank you for the gear. I have taken the gear and I am using it. It is useful to me. So I really appreciate it. I am using what you guys have given me, and it is really, really, really helping me. And I cannot thank you enough for that. It's going to make this experience a lot better, let me tell you. Because originally, I was not really going to use very, very rare level gear. I just wasn't going to use that rarity. I wasn't going to spend the resources to do it. But you guys are giving me nothing but very rare quality gear. So heck, I'm going to use it. So I'm going to have a better experience than I was even planning for, which is just incredible. So here's what I got on my ship. Obviously, Hand of Omega. We now have a Mark 6 plasma dual beam bank up front, and it's got the pen on it. That's right, penetration. We have the pen modifier. Who would have thought? Can you believe that? That's incredible. We've also got a plasma beam array Mark 6 crit D damage and over on it. I've never had weapons with over on them before. Apparently over is overload, so you have a chance to do this overload damage with your weapons. Plasma torpedo launcher Mark 6 accuracy crit D ×2, and then 2 plasma beams in the back, one with thrust and one with snare. So I've got some unique modifiers I've actually never had before. That's going to be cool. Also, yeah, going beams on this because the ship, in my opinion, is too slow turning to use cannons right now. Even though I want to go with cannons, It's just not. We're not there yet. We don't have a ship yet that's going to allow us to do that. And the next ship after this one is going to be the freaking Daenerys. That thing is slow as mud. So yeah, I'll have to go with beams on that one as well. Mark 8 stuff. Okay, for the deflector, I've got a positron deflector array, Mark 6, drain dex ×2, shield capacity. I got a hyper impulse engine with aux speed and turn. One of the downsides to this ship and the next ship is they are very slow moving ships for me, very slow turning. I want an escort, I really do, but I can't get one. So the best I'm going to have to do is to buff up the engine speed or whatever on these things to make them more palatable to me. So this hyper impulse engine is actually pretty good toward that, and it has a speed and turn buff on it. I have a plasma integrated Singularity core, res, Sing A, weapons cap, 100% power transfer rate, maximum warp factor 7.8, increases your Singularity charge rate by 20%. I like that. And your quantum absorption also provides you with 20 resistance to all damage. That will help me stay alive better. Weapon power buff that I have as well with that. And then I'm using a covariant shield. It's got capacity, pole, and reg on it. Couple of randoms there, but capacity is good on that, so a good high capacity shield. I did put an EPS in my engineering console, but to be honest with you, I may take this out. Now looking back at this, I didn't realize this had a plus 100% power transfer rate, and knowing that, I may take this EPS out and put in engine power here, because I swear the movement speed is going to bother me a lot. I'm going to want a much higher movement speed, so I may put an engine power console here. We'll do the first couple of missions and see if I like this or not. If not, I may take that out. Do have a shield capacity generator here. Increases my shield capacity. All of my tactical consoles are Mark 6 plasma infusers for plasma energy weapon damage, so that's maxed out. Remember, I'd only have 2 here if I had the free token ship, so it gives me 1 more tactical slot. That means more energy weapon damage with this Z-Store version. And then here's the unique console. It's called the Universal Shield Absorptive Frequency Generator. When below 90% of any shield facing, 2.5% chance per shot for all energy weapons to restore shields for 200% of outgoing damage. So I don't have to enable that. It'll just happen automatically on its own, thank goodness. It is part of a set. If I had the ablative hazard shielding and ionized particle beam, I would have this weapon system efficiency and experimental alloy plating set. I don't have either of those, and I've never played with these abilities, but that would give me more weapon power, resistance to weapon power drain, and cost. And then this one would give me maximum hull capacity and a really high turn rate. So that's interesting. On to my characters. Well, actually, let's go look at my bridge officer stations real quick here. I have all of them set up. I'm using all the ones that are beneficial to me that have space traits. I've got 3 of 4 with beam overload 3, so now I've got tier 3 level abilities on my bridge officer powers. So beam overload 3, and the reason why I didn't do fire at will 3 is because I've only got 2 beams up front. So let's say I'm forward firing at the enemy, right? I only have really 2 beams at the front, so fire at will is not going to do a whole lot for me. If I had a whole lot more beams, 1 or 2 more, fire at will would be more useful. But I'm going to stick with beam overload. I think I can do more damage with it right now, especially if I get it on the dual beam bank. So I'm going to use beam overload 3, and then I do have fire at will 2 anyway, so it's not like I don't have it. I just don't have version 3 of it. I have torpedo high yield 1. I've got torpedo spread 2. I got tac team 1. I've got emergency power to weapons 1, so more weapon damage. Hazard emitters 1 for healing and debuffs. And then science team 2 for healing and debuffing as well. And polarize hull 1 to get out of those tractor beams and all that stuff. So pretty good abilities there on space. I think that's going to do us well for right now. On ground, I went ahead and redid my robot's healing powers a little bit. I gave her medical tricorder 3 for healing us on the ground. That's going to be real nice. Also vascular regenerator 1. So she will be a very good ground healer for me. And the others, I just kind of left them right now at their default. Not really going to mess with them. I did upgrade them, so they're their powers will be active. I just haven't customized their powers right now. I'll do that later. Not really worried about it because pretty much I'm overpowered anyway on the ground. Now for myself, I do have a new Mark 6 tactical kit. This one has improved ground shields, resistance to ground control effects, and reduces damage taken by shields. I've also got a Mark 6 energy dampening armor with HPP, Fizz, and Reg SH. And then shield, I've got a personal shield, a Mark 6 with E&E, PBD damage, phaser resistance. I do have my Herald anti-proton beam projector on still. That will be my primary weapon. Remember, it upgrades with me, so I don't have to actually upgrade it. For my bridge officers, all of them now have Mark 6 armor and Mark 6 shield, and all of them are very rare quality, so very rare Mark 6 armor and shield. All the ones that are on ground, as you can see there. They're all a little different, but they're basically Mark 6, very rare. And then also, I upgraded their weapons. The Herald anti-proton high-density beam projectors, I upgraded them to Mark 6. So all their weapons are Mark 6 as well. And they still have the Kelvin timeline tribble. And for my kit powers, I just upgraded a couple of these, or a few. I didn't really mess with all of them. I got a Mark 6 plasma grenade. I still have the Mark 4 ambush. I still have a Mark 3 rally cry, but heck, it's not that terrible at this point of the game anyway. And I got this new universal kit module. Somebody gave me a universal kit module and I wanted to try it out, and look what it is. It's a miniature spore relay. That's right, it's a ground-based spore teleportation thing from Star Trek Discovery. Something they never really had on the show, but they actually have this in the game. It's a spore based. I'll show it to you. You travel forward and it spores you forward pretty much. Then I also have a motion accelerator Mark 6 as well for doing a little more quicker running and so forth. In terms of traits, I did add a couple of traits here. I added rifle training on my ground. That's going to do bonus rifle weapon damage plus 5%. The staff that I'm using is considered a rifle, so that means I'll be doing more ground damage. And then, like I said, speed on my ship is going to be a big problem for me. So I went ahead and added Thrill Seeker right now. That's going to give me plus 15% flight speed. And that's going to be real beneficial to me because, like I said, I'm a stickler for a fast-moving ship right now. I want one, but the Valdor is definitely not a fast-moving ship, and neither will the D'Deridex be. So I added Thrill Seeker trait to kind of help that a little bit. But even that may not be enough. Like I said, I may have to add some engine power on there. Because, yeah, I can't deal with a slow-moving ship. I don't want one. I want a fast-moving ship. What else? Shoot, I think that's like it. That's all we can do. I have been adding stuff into my skill points. I haven't really showed you guys, but I've got energy weapon training maxed out, projectile weapon training maxed out, targeting expertise is maxed out for accuracy. I've also maxed out my defense rating. Because remember, I eventually will be going with a more escort-like ship at Tier 6 of this game. So I've got that defense rating up for when I do that. And I'm probably, what I don't have and what I should have and what I'm going to do is Impulse Expertise. I'm going to max out Impulse Expertise. That will also help my flight speed. But right now I haven't done that, but I think I'm going to. Next skill point I get is going to go into that. And then I have one right now in weapon amplification, so I will be doing these as well. Crit chance and crit severity will be done as well. So impulse, and then crit chance and severity. We'll go from there. Let's see. And in fact, I've got an option to add more crit chance to torpedoes or severity right now. I think I'm going to go with crit chance. I'm going to get my crit chance like really high so that I'm just like critting all the time. I'm going to actually do crit chance on that. So check out this spore thing. I hit this and I spore forward. And when I spore forward, I leave mines behind. So yeah, that's the ability. You spore forward and leave a few mines behind for your enemy, so they would run towards you, right, and then run into the mines. That's the whole idea there. Motion accelerator does that, and it basically will help me run real fast. I still have all my others, that one, and Rally Cry, and that one, and then my staff weapon. And then I just still have my Riemann ability as well to use. But I wanted to show you that Spore one, because that's pretty cool. I've never used that before. I don't know how useful it'll be, but heck, I've got it, so might as well try using it and see if it might be helpful or not. Not quite sure. It's something new anyway, and I like new things. Something I've never used before in combat. We'll do it one more time here. Zoop, zoop. And leave those behind. That's it. Pretty cool. I like the effect anyway. Let's go up to space. Check out all my space stuff. So here she is, the Valdor. This will be my new ship. Now, as you can see, the turn rate is slow. This is why I'm going with beams and not cannons, because I would never be able to turn around completely fast enough to do a ton of damage and all that. So, definitely beams. And yeah, I'm at 20 engine power. I'm moving real slow. You can see that right here, and I don't like that. I want a fast-moving ship. So that may bother me a lot. I may have to go ahead and put some more into engine power there, which I can add a console. If my power transfer rate's high enough, I mean, oh yeah. I'm going to do that now because, yeah, my power transfer rate's 300. I don't need a 350% power transfer rate. Yeah, taking that off, it's 300% power transfer rate without that EPS console. And that's because of this Singularity core here. Has plus 100% power transfer rate, so I don't need that EPS. I don't know what I was thinking. I definitely don't need that. I'm going to put engine power there. That's going to benefit me more. And I'm going to use engine power, not turn rate. That'll make me move faster, have a faster flight speed. Otherwise, here are my stats. 31.3 defense rating. My hull strength is 29,260. So that's pretty good. My hull repair, 45% a minute, 100. Here's my shield strength, 5627. No resists yet. Accuracy is 25. Crit chance is 6.5%. Crit severity is almost 60%. Turn rate is 18.8. Flight speed is 11.51. Here's my bridge officer abilities. Nothing really to note except I've got Fire on my mark, which I haven't used too much yet. Here's my abilities. I've got the Plasma Shockwave, Warp Shadow. Teleport to a random nearby location, creates a warp shadow of your ship for 15 seconds. Quantum Absorption. This one will help me stay alive. And then the console, remember, will just activate by itself automatically when I drop below 90% on any shield facing. So I won't have to do anything with that. My DPSs, let's see what they are. When my power settle down. 748 DPS on that, 935 plasma damage, 588 DPS on the single, 735 plasma, 358 DPS and 2864 kinetic damage, and 1273 plasma damage on the torpedo in the back, 601 DPS, 751 plasma, and then 575 DPS and 719 plasma. So kind of all over the place, but that's because the modifiers are different. Let's beam down real quick. I'm going to put on that engine power because I got to have more engine power. That's going to bug the crap out of me. And I should have enough to buy it. Let's go to ship equipment, no, not impulse. We want ship console, engineering, very rare, sub commander, and I'm not sure what the engine one is called. I'll have to find what the that's aux power, that's RCS, which is turn rate, but that's not what I want. There's engine power. It's the injector assembly. So Mark 6 injector assembly plus 5 to engine power. Let's do that. It's 1,000,000 energy credits just for that. But it's going to benefit me. Plus 5 engine power. And if anybody has any ideas on engineering consoles that has engine power plus other abilities, sometimes you can get combo consoles that have like turn rate plus engine power plus, you know, power transfer rate, or they have multiple powers attached to them. If anybody knows of some specific consoles at this level of the game, level 20, which is Sub-Commander, Mark 6 gear, if anybody can recommend me some engineering consoles that might have comboed features like that can increase my flight speed, but at the same time also give me some other things, that would really help. So now my engine power is 25. It was 20 before, so we're up plus 5, which, I mean, it's not a whole lot, but it's going to make my life a little happier, being able to move faster. And then once I put the skill points into Impulse Expertise, once I max out Impulse Expertise, that will also help me as well. You get a total speed and turn rate bonus with that. So for right now, that's what I'm going to do, because, yeah, that's going to benefit me more. I need that engine speed, because I'm just crazy without it. I do not want to be flying slow right now. I want to be flying fast. So that is my setup, everybody. That's my Sub-Commander setup, level 20 for our playthrough. So between level 20 and 30, this is going to be my setup. This is it right here, and we're pretty much good to go. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Just a little bit of an update there. It will let us know, you know, what I'll be using here in the future, and you can refer back to this video if you want to see the build that I'm using and so forth moving forward. But in the next mission, we'll hit the next mission, which will be Sleepers. Sleepers is the next mission. We're going to hop back into the Tal Shiar stuff, and that should be fun with our new build here. Should be a lot more fun. New ship, new weapons, new gear, Mark 6 stuff. We're moving on up. Drop a comment and let me know what you think below of this build and this setup. Thank you all for watching, and thanks to everyone who has donated gear. You are a lifesaver and have definitely helped this playthrough, and it's going to be a fun experience because of you, so thank you so much. Stay tuned for the next one.